So here we have a new 2022 Nissan Maxima. And this one comes in the SR trim in pearl white tricoat on charcoal, leather, and alcantara pointed seats. And of course the powertrain consists of the 3.5 liter V6 naturally aspirated engine, made it to an Xtronic transmission. And that gets you 300 horsepower, 261 pound-feet of torque. And huge shout out to John Roberts Nissan for allowing me to review this car today. There's that beautiful front end, very aggressive. LED headlamps, LED daytime running lights, as well as LED fog lights. Then down here we have 19-inch aluminum wheels. Get passive keyless entry on the front two doors. And I love this pearl white. But here we have the controls for our power windows, power door locks, power mirrors, memory seats. There's our blind spot monitor, and then we also get an 11-speaker Bose sound system. So the Nissan safety system, toggle that on and off there, and then the heated steering wheel, trunk. And there is our power driver seat with power lumbar support. And that's the legroom there. This is kind of coupe-like, so I'm not mad. I can sit in here, but my knees are just touching the back of the seat a little bit. And my head is actually touching the ceiling, but I would never be back here because I would get this car to drive it. So there we have our rear AC vents, a USB-C and USB-A charging port. And I just want to go ahead and marvel in that beautiful front there. That steering wheel and just the whole instrument cluster and everything just looks really great. Then here we have a little storage tray here and two cup holders. And then we'll open that sunroof once we get to the front. But now we're going to check out the back and the trunk space. So there's our trunk space there, pretty good size. And then we can even pull this, and I'll show you how the seat folds. But just look at that beautiful back end there. Got LED tail lights. Just a really aggressive look, and that exhaust, I love that. So when we trigger that rear seat, we can fold it there. And then we have additional space to run longer objects through, or if you just want more space to put bags or whatever, you can do that. And then you just pull it back up and it snaps back into place. And then here's our power front passenger seat. And another thing I really like about these Maximas, especially the SR, is that kind of black roof it has going on there. It's mostly the sunroof, but just how they blacked out the top, it just looks so aggressive. But now we're going to take a quick look at the engine bay. And there's that 3.5 liter V6 in there. Now we're going to hop in the driver's seat. So right off the bat, I really love how they did this leather alcantara trim throughout the vehicle. Even on the steering wheel here, it's really awesome. And being able to heat it too, really nice. These paddle shifters just look so amazing. But over here, we have our radio. So we get AM, FM, XM along with Bluetooth. And then we also get Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. Here's our home screen here. And we can customize the menu. And then if you have the XM traffic and weather hooked up, you can see all of that updated through satellite. And there's our navigation screen. There's our backup camera with bird's eye view. And I just want to take a quick look through the settings so you can see all you can customize here. And then down here we have dual zone automatic climate controls. Have a little storage here that has a USB-C, a USB-A, and then an aux input. And then for our shifter, hit the button back here, reverse, neutral, drive, and we can slap over here to manually shift that Xtronic, or we can use the paddle shifters here. And then here we have a few shortcuts for the radio. So I can just hit map, pull up the navigation, menu, back button, and then of course we can scroll through our options and whatnot, or tap over. Here's our sport mode, traction control. We have our heated and cooled seats, so it's 3, 2, 1 on cold, off, and then 1, 2, 3 with heat. And that's gonna be for the driver and the front passenger. And a little storage cubby there. Now let's open up this roof. So both the panes will come back together, and then you can one-touch slide everything. So pretty neat. You can tilt as well. There's a view of the back seat from up here. There's our glove compartment. It's really deep in there. And then over here to the left side of our steering wheel, we have volume controls, track lists or preset controls, and then we can go through our gauge cluster here. And then on the right side of the steering wheel, Bluetooth controls, toggle that adaptive cruise, and then we can adjust the gap for that there. And then over here, we can toggle between our sources, AM, FM, XM, and then whatever you have on the aux input there. There's our push button start. Headlamp controls, turn signal, brights, windshield wiper controls. And finally, we have our key fob with remote start. But now we're gonna go ahead and take this 2022 Maxima SR out on the road for a quick test drive. So the Maximas are known, at least to me, as being pretty quick cars. You have a naturally aspirated V6. And with that CVT, you just don't have problems shifting. You just put your foot down and it's gone. So just a really impressive powertrain. And that's why they haven't really fooled with it. I'd love to see, I don't even know what the version would be for Nissan, but basically like a top sport trim. Maybe they put like a turbocharged V6 in the SR or make a new trim for it, but that'd be awesome. Because I mean, the turbo Ultimas are already crazy fast, and with the CVTs, they just drive fun. They're just fun to drive. But I would love to see that in a Maxima like this. I mean, you have the looks in terms of how sporty they are. You have this flat bottom steering wheel with the Alcantara, and I just want to see a beefed up powertrain, and that'd be sick. But overall, not a bad ride. Of course, you feel the bumps in this car, especially with these 19s on here and such skinny tires, but not bothersome at all. And I mean, the car handles well. And just the whole steering setup and all of that, it's not too light. And it's just enough to be fun, but also be practical. And no one's behind me, so I'm gonna let off a little bit and then try these paddle shifters out in the sport mode. And I just love that there are no, it's fun to use the paddle shifters, but there really aren't any actual shifts because it's a continuously variable transmission, but it's still fun. And the exhaust note on Maximas is just, it's one of the best in my opinion for a naturally aspirated V6. It just sounds so sporty, so aggressive. And of course, it's kind of the same exhaust sound that you'll hear on your Infinities. So your Q60s and the Q50 and all that. And they make some of the best exhausts Nissan and Infiniti do. But I'm gonna take it out of sport mode because we kind of got to look at that. And we're just gonna, when we get on the interstate, we'll just give it throttle and see how it does when it's not in sport mode. So I'm not gonna give it too much. But effortless acceleration. I'm gonna put the adaptive cruise on now. And there's the lane departure warning on. Now, as with most of today's adaptive cruise controls, pretty seamless. Now I have a 19 QX50, and I will say the ones that have the lane tracing on there are a bit buggy, which most of them are, except in your Super Cruises from GM and then your autopilot from Tesla. They're not 100% accurate, but they don't read the same way that those systems do, using satellite and several cameras and all that. But the adaptive cruise is pretty much around the board pretty solid from everyone, at least from every vehicle I've tested. And cruising here at 70, the acoustics in the cabin are really, really good. I'm pretty impressed, actually. It's super windy out, and I can just hear the wind noise being deadened by the vehicle. And overall, I would rate this car to be comfortable enough to take on a long road trip. The seats are just really, really comfortable. Having heated and cooled seats is nice. And just the overall driving, having adaptive cruise helps, but just how it drives is really nice. Whether you want to have fun or you want to get 30 miles per gallon out of it on a road trip. And I normally end the test drive here, but I'm gonna go ahead and pull it into the parking lot and then just take a quick look at the window sticker. Pull it back into this spot. And then we'll take a quick look here. And there's that window sticker. Sticker's right at 44,440. And there are all your standard features there. But this brings me to the end of my review of the 2022 Nissan Maxima SR.